Last week, there wasn't a freeze-drying video. Instead, I decided to completely rebuild my front yard. Let me show you what we built. Whoa, that don't look very nice. Let me change the angle of that. That's what it looks like now. What do you think? Put a lot of work into that. But I'm going to show you up a close-up of the roses that this is putting off now. And this is the heat of the summer. So this one's called Apricot Rose, Apricot Drift Rose. I fell in love with these. It has a lot of characteristics I like they're low maintenance. You don't have to deadhead the flowers. They just naturally take care of themselves. And yeah, they stay small because I don't want what I call this my front yard here. I call it's a very small canvas. So I didn't want overwhelming sized plants. You know, it's something pretty. What I did was I bought a bunch of them because I fell in love. All the drift roses have different petal counts to their buds, and the apricot has the most counts and makes the prettiest bloom. And so I bought a bunch of those. Another good thing about the drift roses is they bloom from spring all the way to your first frost. So I'm going to have flowers out here all year long. These look a little bit sparse, but that's because we just planted them. So what I did was I staggered along my apricot roses there. Let's see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in this bed. And then I also got the popcorn drift. Has the same characteristics as the apricot, only the petal count is a little bit lower. When these first bud out, we'll see if I can find some as I move along here. They come out with the bud closed. They look like a kernel of popcorn, and then they open up and kind of look like popped popcorn. So I guess that's where it gets its name. So I put one of those in each corner of the bed. I don't see, there's a bud right there. See how that bud underneath the drift rose right there is a nice bright yellow? That'll pop open, have a yellow tint to it for a few days, then it'll turn white like the ones you're looking at. And in the corner of each bed, or the end of each bed, I have a full size, what you call those? The roses that you buy from box stores. Hybrid. It's a hybrid rose. And this one right here, it's not blooming. They put out blooms already this year several times. This one is an Oklahoma, which gives out the darkest of red roses and a really beautiful smell. So I put that one in the Oklahoma in there. And then over in this one, this corner, we put a Paradise rose, which is kind of like a pinkish rose with the red edges to the petals when it first blooms. So I bought those early spring actually and planted them in containers, and then did a lot of research on it because I didn't want to lose them this winter, and figured I better put those in the ground. So I have transplanted them from pots to the ground, and they're doing well. My Paradise is kind of like a one stem wonder, but I'm hoping that sorts itself out. Got some new growth on this second stem over here finally. So there we have it. And here's another drift rose of the oranges on this side, and that's my neighbor's cat. He always comes to visit me. So I bought these plants in different sizes because I had to shop around to get enough of the apricots, and these were the very large size I got from Tractor Supply for a bargain because they were looking really bad after sitting in the store for 3 months. And so I asked for a discount, and they gave me a discount. All right, what else we got here? And we built these flower beds here. I put some red brick in. I can't remember the names of all these plants. They're all perennials though, and that's the big thing. They're going to come back year after year. And let's see, there's that bed on that side and that bed on this side. Now the two outer plants here, the purple ones, I just recently bought those last weekend actually from Home Depot, Perennials, and I can't remember their names, but they're very pretty. And in the center here is what we call Etane viola, a violet Etane. And I think the only perennial violets out there. They come back year after year. They don't like a lot of sun. Originally I had planned on filling the gaps on these roses with these, but this out here they get so much sun and the heat it would kill them. So I decided to put them in here. And once again at Menards, these were looking real scraggly. They had like 2 foot long runoffs, really scraggly. And I found the manager and said, look, I'll buy 10 of them if you give me a good discount on them. He gave me to me for like $5 each plant. So I chopped them all down, got rid of all that overgrowth on them, and planted several of them there. And they're doing well. And here's some more that I got over here in the shade, and we'll find I might risk putting those out in the flower beds very close to the bigger rose bushes so that they cast some shade on them. They like moist ground and not a lot of direct sun. On the trellis here I got climbing up, I cannot remember the name. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen, of these climbing roses. They're thornless climbing roses. If you Google that, the name instantly comes up. And they're like a pinkish color. Again, they bloom from early spring all the way through to the first frost. So those are starting to climb up my trellis. I'm starting to train it up there. Hopefully next year maybe we'll have enough on there to get a show of flowers. They say the very first year it puts down roots. The second year you'll get some show of flowers. It's spending its energy growing. In the third year this will be totally covered in those roses. And if you look up a picture, I might slip one in here to show you what someone else's orchard looks like when they're in full bloom. It'll look like that all summer, all the way to the first frost. What do you think of that? That's gonna be so pretty. Okay, so you might have noticed this back bed. Now this back bed's been here since I moved. Well, I put it in very close to when I moved in, let's say. And that was 20 years ago I moved here. And it had, I've grown tomatoes in here, peppers. But very early on I wanted to make this what I call my berry patch. So that's what this is. It's a berry patch, and I had to put the fence up to keep squirrels out of my berries. But I found a neat trick that I did with this chicken wire. Instead of running it straight up like that, I bend the top over. So now when the squirrel runs up there, he gets to this bit here, and he'd have to kind of hang upside down to get over the top. And for the past couple of years, that seems to be doing the trick, stopping them from getting in there. Now, squirrels are pretty smart. They'll figure it out, maybe, but who knows? It's working for now. So what do we got in here? We got, first I'll tell you about my vines that I bought also. Put those in this weekend. For these dead grapevines, I'm replacing those with honeysuckles. And this is a native honeysuckle, not invasive, they call it. And it's going to grow up this side. There's another one over there. It's going to grow up that side, and hopefully attract some hummingbirds. And I think they bloom all year as well to the frost. So we got the honeysuckle in here. We got some blackberries. Let me tell you about these blackberries. I bought the thornless many years ago and put it in here. And every year I cut them back to the roots because they just take over my berry patch. So I wait until I harvest the berries, and then I just cut them all out, and next year they'll be back. Then I got 1, 2, 3, 4 blueberry bushes. And we had an interesting story with that as well, because my blueberries, I've had them in probably 6 years, and they always looked a bit scrawny. The leaves looked yellow and not very healthy. And I got some blueberries, but not a lot. But I bought some of that acidic blueberry fertilizer this year and put that down, and boy, these just took off. Blueberries come on your old woods, so next year I should have an abundant crop of blueberries. I'm looking forward to that. So we got blueberries, blackberries, strawberries. How about this again off Amazon? And planted some strawberry bare roots in those this spring, and look at those strawberries. They're looking pretty. And I've been eating quite a few already this year out of that. Blackberries, blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries. And that's another thing I planted a few years ago. My raspberries have never really been great, so I'm going to be working on those. They're kind of smothered out with that blueberry vine that's growing into them. I think next year, anything that grows to this end, I'm going to take out. Let those raspberries get some air circulation in there, and I'll probably put a little of that acidic fertilizer on those as well. So I topped the whole thing off with my bench that I can come out here in the morning and the evenings and sit and just while away the hours talking with the flowers and conversing about the rain. And well, if I only had a brain. I digress. So anyway, my goal in this whole project was to make a little English cottage style area that I can just come sit out, enjoy the beauty, enjoy the scent. Because another thing about these climbing roses, and in particular the Oklahoma, they are supposed to be super fragrant. So I can just sit out here and enjoy that next spring to summer. And there you go. So you've seen it. I'd be interested in hearing what you think. So that's about it. I don't think I'll be doing any more with that. Like I say, it's a small canvas. I don't want to overcrowd it. I need to work on. Anybody got any tips on how to fix that bulb patch? I'm interested, because I have Missouri clay soil. That dirt is hard, and it's going to be hard to get some grass to grow on that. And plus I probably need to get in there and spread something on there to get rid of the clover. I do get a lot of clover in there. I'd like that to be a nice lush English style green lawn as well. So there you have it. You've seen my project, what's been keeping me busy all week. Well, actually more than a week. But the freeze dryer sitting in there all kind of sad and bored and not having anything put in it. So I am about ready to feed her something later today. So we'll see you next week, and stay tuned to see what comes out of the freeze dryer. Have a great day.